Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our March 11th monthly meeting. If you can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take a roll call. Everybody is present. Approval of the minutes. If anybody has any changes, may I have a motion? Any changes? Nope. A motion to accept the minutes of the February 11th meeting and the March 4th budget work session. Motion. Mr. Collins, second. Mr. Lunar, all in favor? Thank you. We're going to go a little out of order tonight because people need to get to class night rehearsals. So Jackson, I'm going to call on you first to give you a report.
Thank you. This Friday is the big day. The 98th annual class night performances are almost here, and students have been working hard. Students have been participating in their dances and skits for the past few weeks in preparation for class night. Freshmen will be performing Looney Tunes, sophomores will be performing Mickey Mouse, juniors will be performing Scooby-Doo, and seniors will be performing The Muppets. I want us to especially thank the overall chairs, art chairs, treasurers, class advisors, and the LHS administration who have worked so hard to make Friday possible. Thank you so much. Your work does not go unnoticed. On February 28th, I had the opportunity, along with 2 other juniors, to attend the BOE Student Leadership Forum. The event was excellent, and I was so happy to hear from other student leaders on Long Island. Once we arrived, we were broken up into breakout room rotations. The breakout rooms were focused on mental health, academic pressure, school environment, and career planning and life skills. The discussions in each breakout room were fantastic, and it was interesting to hear how each school can differ even on Long Island. The selection process for the next ex officio student board member has begun. Students picked up applications on March 6th, and Mr. Cornicello told me that 11 people picked up applications. I was asked to sit in on the first round of interviews, and I am excited to hear from different students applying for this position. Finally, the Horizon staff, in partnership with the elementary school PTAs, will be creating Horizon Junior, where elementary school students will have a chance to have the articles they write published in print.
Thank you. Dr. Lynch, over to you.
So it is my honor tonight to introduce Lynbrook High School's class of 2026 valedictorian and salutatorian. Normally, when these 2 names have been mentioned in this cafeteria, Brendan, you would always be playing ground control to Major Tom. This is a famous duo at board meetings because they, both these gentlemen invented an experiment that actually flew up in a NASA mission, and now they're back here again as Val and Sal. Both gentlemen have such outstanding accomplishments. I would encourage you to go to the website where we have posted an article about them. So I would like to bring up for a photograph and worthy congratulations our valedictorian Jack Murray and salutatorian Aiden Michaels. And there's a great tradition in Nassau County. I'd like to invite both of you and your families to breakfast with me and every other superintendent in Nassau County the first Friday in June. So don't worry, you'll get an invitation in the mail. Back to you. Okay, next presentation. All right, so tonight we have a very special presentation. As you know, the board asked us in September to highlight the profile of the owl and to highlight all the great programs that we do that exhibit what we call our owldom. So tonight we have members of our career development program who are going to come up and tell us a little bit about what they're doing. So come on up, folks.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, administration, and members of the community. My name is Brighton Lamontia, and I'm the middle school teacher for the CDP program.
And good evening. My name is Annie McKenna, and I am the high school CDP teacher.
We are grateful for this opportunity to speak tonight and to share some of the wonderful experiences our students have had through the CDP program this year. First, we would like to thank the Board of Ed and our administration for their continued support in allowing us to grow and develop this program.
Because of that support, our students have been able to participate in meaningful activities that help build independence, social connections, and real-world skills. We would also like to extend a special thank you to SEPTA for their involvement in the Challenger program and for organizing such a wonderful award ceremony at the end of the school year.
Opportunities like these create truly memorable experiences for our students and families.
Tonight, we're excited to share a glimpse of the experiences that your support has helped make possible for our students. Welcome to CDP!
Classroom, if you want to follow me here. This is our classroom here, and it was just recent.
Come follow me. This is our classroom. For our internship, we checked our work binder for requests such as getting mail, copying, cleaning the wellness room, shredding, and more.
My classmates and I helped the students clean the cafeteria. Tasks we complete include sweeping the floor, wiping down the tables, stacking the chairs and placing them back down on the floor.
Classmates and I baked pretzels and delivered them to the classrooms of teachers who ordered from us. We charge $1 per pretzel and we collect money and give change back to the teachers.
Another job site is my classmates and I have is the community garden. We plant crops such as fruits and vegetables. We use these crops in our cooking class, and I love it.
Another job site my classmates and I have is working at the Lynbrook School District Administration Building. We help sort and deliver mail, shred documents, and prepare mailings with labels. We also make copies for teachers at LHS and deliver them to their mailboxes.
And finally, my classmates and I work in the PACE lab. We complete jobs from many different categories, such as computer technology, business marketing, processing production, and consumer service. The PACE lab lets us experience real-life jobs. It is very interesting.
And the low of 36 degrees. Why did the pencil get in trouble?
I don't know, Johan. Why'd the pencil get in trouble?
Because it had a point and wasn't afraid to use it. Have a great day.
This is the talking table. We ask friends questions. We also have presentations, science fairs, and museums where we invite friends and teachers to come.
Help us build a stronger community.
My classmates and I join the mindfulness yoga class once a week. My favorite pose is the tree pose.
Hi, welcome to the cafe. We sell coffee, tea, and hot chocolate to the teachers. We also sell iced coffee, lemonade, and iced tea in the spring to the teachers. We have different kinds, and we also have milk and cinnamon to put in your coffee. We also had Ready Coffee come in. We got to share some of their products to everyone.
Cafe,
Learning skills.
communication.
The Hoot Cafe is the best coffee in town.
Ready Coffee came to North to help us at the Hill Cafe. We saw their products and interviewed baristas. They were working with the community.
Being an owl. I like being an owl buddy because I can connect with people that I don't see every day in classes.
What have you learned as an owl buddy?
As an owl buddy, I've learned that some people you just need to understand them, and some people are misunderstood, but everyone's equal. This owl buddy's impacted you.
It's impacted me that I'm able to broaden my patience, I can have insight into other students and allow them to have the same opportunities as me.
What is your favorite part of being an owl buddy?
My favorite part of being an owl buddy is just connecting with people and helping out.
On Friday, I see our buddy.
What is your name?
My name's Harry and I'm in 10th grade.
All right, but
How long have you been an owl buddy? I've been an owl buddy for 2 years.
What is your favorite thing about being an owl buddy?
I just like to come help out and have fun with you guys and just play basketball and do fun things with you guys.
CDP participates in Challenger athletics. We play 3 sports: soccer, basketball, and track and field. Our buddies and families come to cheer us on. It is so much fun.
I'm Gabby. I would like to thank Coach Smith, Coach Sasso, and the Lynbrook cheerleaders for letting me cheer with them. Go Owls! Woo!
CDP went on an apple-picking field trip to Wickham's farm in Cutchogue. We also visited Heritage Farm in Muntown and saw farm animals. We go on many great trips throughout the year.
I love bowling.
This was CDP's second annual Cookies and Karaoke. Each year, we choose a favorite holiday song to perform in front of our guests, and we bake delicious cookies. This year, my song was Run, Rudolph, Run. And now, for a special treat, you get to hear my performance.
Now the students have prepared a special treat for the board members, which we will hand out now.
Yeah.
We would love to take a picture. If you could come up for a picture.
Guys, those are some great brownies, by the way. Thank you.
I just wanted, before we release everyone, you all know what my favorite saying is, right? And today we are so owl proud of our CDP kids for doing all they do for us and making our place a really great place to be. So thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into the CDB program. And it said, come visit. I just might take you up on that.
Mr. Cullen, you can come to the cafe. We will get...
At this point, if there are any students that want to come to the floor to speak, we have privilege of the floor for our students, and also Mr. Greenfield, if you'd like to come up.
Now it's on. Thank you, Madam President and members of the board. I don't appear tonight, that's a tough act to follow. I don't appear as citizen taxpayer tonight, but I come before you as the chairman of the Lynbrook Mayor's Golf Outing. This Sunday is Selection Sunday for the NCAA. Last Monday, we had Selection Monday for our honorees for the golf outing. Last year, Dr. Lynch was one of our great honorees, and we wanted to keep up the tradition and select somebody from the school community. So with the help and assistance of Dr. Lynch, we selected Dr. T for all the work that he's done with the students, and those students from the Key Club have been coming to our outing every year and assisting on the day of the event, except during cocktail hour they left. But they're a great help on the course, and they're going to rally around this year. The date of the event is Monday, August 17th. It's 1 week later. We also have two other honorees from the community, Mr. Bruce Levitt from Merlee's, one of the oldest businesses in the village. And then we have a newer business over on Ocean Avenue and Sunrise Highway. And that is Modesto Palladino. And they've been a supporter of the outing since they arrived in Lynbrook and interested in getting more involved in the community. We're going to go with two courses again, the Seawain Club and also Inwood, where the dinner will be. And we're going to keep up the tradition that the community fund is going to present scholarships on your scholarship night for four worthy students, $400 scholarships. and we hope the event will be a success that will continue or increase that for next year. So thank you for allowing me the time to make that announcement.
Thank you very much. At this time, we would like to welcome Nicole Wolf, our new special education teacher at Marion Street. She will be starting tomorrow. Oh, I have a student, sorry. Please come up.
Hi, my name is Cece Farr, and you might remember me from last year when I came to a few Board of Education meetings to talk about environmental awareness in our district. I'm here today to give you an update. Since my last presentation here, I've taken action to hopefully start working towards a greener future for Lynbrook schools. At the kindergarten center, Mrs. Leonard helped me plan with Mrs. Postman, and back in October, I was invited into the school to do an assembly where I presented about recycling to all of our youngest Lynbrook owls. I put giant googly eyes on a recycling bin and named it Rita Recycling. I demonstrated what Rita likes to eat and what she doesn't like to eat. Last week, when I was back at the KC for my little sister's special me, one of the kids called me Rita Recycling when he saw me, and that was more than 4 months after my recycling assembly, so I think it made an impact. All of the elementary schools now have recycling bins. I spoke to my friends at Marion Street and Waverly, and they worked with their schools to make sure that they have recycling bins from now on. But as you know from my second presentation here last year, just because we're collecting things in a recycling bin doesn't mean that those things are being recycled. So at West End and North, I've been collecting the recyclables before they get picked up with the trash. I bring the bottles and cans to the recycling center and I feed them into a machine which gives me 5 cents for each one. And then I give that money back to the school. At North, when the lunchroom recycling bins fill up, Mr. Motherway bags them up and sends a message to me and my parents. Then my parents drive me to the school to collect the bags. At West End, there's not many bottles and cans from the lunchroom, but once a month, Mr. Quinton puts out a special recycling donation bin near the dumpsters, and the teachers are invited to bring their recyclables from home. Mr. Brasakis and Mrs. Fraser are my best customers. They always have loads of bottles for me, and I'm thankful that Mrs. Murray has let me start this program at West End. I made a video explaining it to the teachers, and now, every month, Mrs. Murray sends out an announcement so that the teachers know when the recycling collection day is that month. On that day, the teachers put their recyclables in the donation bin, and at the end of the day, my parents drive over and help me load the recycling bags into our car. Then they take me to the recycling center so that I can return the bottles and cans for money, which goes back to the school. If any of you here would like to donate your recyclables this month, the collection date will be Friday, March 27th, and you can leave your bottles and cans in the recycling donation bin by the dumpsters in the West End teacher parking lot. At South Middle School, Mr. Raoul has been returning the students' recyclables for years. He's what inspired me to start doing this at West End and North. I had a meeting with Mr. Sorosi back in October, and even though the high school hasn't needed my help with recycling this year, I still hope it's something that we can keep thinking about in the future. When school started this year, I spoke to the ladies at West End who run the lunch program. Last year, everybody who ordered lunch got a plastic baggie with plastic utensils inside, even if they got a lunch that didn't need utensils. I talked to the ladies at West End about this, and now kids have to take their own utensils from the bin if they need them. The ladies don't just automatically give everybody plastic utensils anymore. This feels like a step in the right direction, and I hope the other schools also made this change. I know some people don't really care about the environmental aspect of the work I've been doing, but something everybody does care about is money. I've been collecting bottles and cans from West End and North for 6 months, and in that time, I've already made over $100 for the schools. That's 2,171 bottles and cans that are now being recycled into something new instead of being incinerated or going to a landfill. And it's over $100 that the schools can use for things they need. At North, Mrs. Healy told me that she wants to use the money to buy recess equipment for the kids to use outside now that the weather has warmed up. As you can see from all the names I've mentioned, this is really a team effort. I'm so grateful to everybody who has helped me make this happen, and I'm hopeful that we can expand it to next year. I talked to my parents, and they're so excited to help me continue doing this at North and West End. Right? Well, maybe not excited. It's a lot of work, but they know it's important, and they did say that they'd keep doing it for me until I get my own driver's license. And luckily, that's only 6 years away. I hope Lynbrook will continue to support me so that we can hopefully expand this awareness to all of our schools. I'd love it if the teachers at other schools could donate their bottles and cans too. And eventually, it would be amazing if we could also open it up to community members to donate theirs. By doing something as simple as returning bottles and cans, we're helping to save the environment, and we're giving money back to our schools while we do it. That feels like something that everybody could be happy about. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Cece. Your presentation is always unbelievable, and I have a feeling one day you're going to be sitting up here as a student board member. Just a hunch. Please keep us updated on the progress. I just want to go back and again welcome Nicole Wolf, our new special education teacher, at Marion Street starting tomorrow. Welcome to the Owl family. And also I want to welcome Joe Pistone, night cleaner at the high school. At this time, we have a retirement resolution. Jane Smithwick, if you could stand, thank you. Whereas Miss Jane Smithwick, a teacher aide at West End Elementary School, has announced her retirement effective June 26, 2026, whereas Jane Smithwick dedicated 10 years of service to the Lynbrook Union Free School District, supporting students, staff, and families at the Lynbrook Kindergarten Center, South Middle School, and West End Elementary School, serving as a medical aide, group aide, and one-to-one aide, consistently demonstrating care, compassion, and commitment to the well-being and success of the students she supported. And whereas, having grown up in Lynbrook and raised her family in the community, Jane brought a deep personal connection to the district and took great pride in giving back to the schools that were such an important part of her life. And whereas the West End Elementary School community benefited greatly from Jane's kindness, patience, and dedication to ensuring that every student felt included, valued, and supported each day, and working closely with Ms. Keon and Ms. Ligori, Jane was a devoted member of the classroom community, helping prepare the room each morning, supporting daily routines, assisting students with their work, and always stepping in wherever help was needed. And whereas Jane formed meaningful relationships with students and colleagues alike, bringing warmth, humor, and positivity this school day, and contributing to school events and activities throughout the year. And whereas her colleagues admire her creativity, organization, and generous spirit, describing her as an amazing person with the biggest heart, whose presence made each day brighter. And whereas Jane is a devoted wife to her husband Brian and a proud mother to Morgan and Aiden, both graduates of the Lynbrook School District, and she now looks forward to enjoying time with family and friends and beginning an exciting new chapter in Long Beach. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Lynbrook Union Free School District extends its sincere gratitude and appreciation to Jane Smithwick for her 10 years of dedicated service and congratulates her on her retirement, wishing her continued happiness, health, and fulfillment in the years ahead, and hereby accepts the retirement of Miss Jane Smithwick effective June 26, 2026. Can you come up for a photo? If you can come up for a photo. At this time, I would like to call Mr. Kunz.
The Burns-Seidemann Gallery proudly presents the March Student Art Exhibition featuring artwork from Mr. Lantini's studio art and drawing and painting classes. This exhibition highlights the development of both foundational skills more advanced contemporary techniques as students explore observation, craftsmanship, and creative problem solving throughout their artistic journey. Visitors will notice the gallery divided into two sections that guides the viewer's eyes through the student's work. Studio art is displayed on the front left, and back left walls of the gallery. This section begins with positive and negative space paper cuts, where students explore how shapes and empty space interact to create visually balanced compositions. Continuing through the section, viewers will see modern Lego composition studies, where students apply elements and principles of art using color, shape, and arrangement to investigate abstraction, rhythm, and visual balance. The studio art display concludes with graphite landscape drawings, where students practice blending, shading, and value to create depth, texture, and atmosphere in their landscape scenes. On the back right, and front walls of the gallery, this features the work of Mr. Lantini's drawing and painting classes. The section begins with a vibrant series of fruit paintings, where students explore a range of painting techniques including direct painting, glazing, scumbling, wet-on-wet, underpainting, and washes. These works draw inspiration from the still life paintings of Ukrainian artist Julie Stankovich. The exhibition concludes with expressive charcoal wave drawings where students use bold mark making and dramatic tonal contrast to capture the movement, force, and energy of the water. These dynamic works are inspired by the powerful wave drawings of Robert Longo. This collection of work reflects the dedication, creativity, and artistic growth of Mr. Lantini's students throughout the year. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to reports from trustees. Ms. Aragona?
PTA Council has 2 events coming up. The first event is their parent university on March 18th. This is related to financial literacy, helping families build smart money habits and plan for the future. Also, their staff volleyball game is on March 27th at Lynbrook High School. Everybody come on down and root for your team.
Thank you. Any other trustees have any reports? Okay. There's no old business. Moving on to new business. BOCE's nominations. Mr. Cullen, would you like to recommend nominees?
Yes, thank you. The first nominee is Deborah Coates. She has been a part of BOCE since 2020 and has, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one, I apologize. Since 2008, and she's been involved in PTA or school boards since 1994. And the second nominee is Lawrence Greenstein. He has been part of BOCE since 2020, and he has 21 years in Nassau school boards. He is the chair of the audit committee currently with BOCES. And one item with Deborah Coates, she is currently the vice president of BOCES.
Thank you. Does anyone have any objection to either of these candidates? Okay. If not, may I have a motion to adopt the resolution 2603G1 nominating Deborah Coates and Lawrence Greenstein? Mr. Plaskey, second. Mr. Murray, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Lynch for the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Danino. So as you know, summer is right around the corner. The weather's getting really nice. I just want Mrs. Aoi to come up, and she's going to tell us a little bit about our summer camp invention program that will be launching for its second incarnation this coming summer.
All right, good evening. My name is Amy Azawi. I'm a physics and marine science teacher here at the high school. But last summer, I brought Camp Invention here to Lynbrook High School, Lynbrook School District. So this is our second summer, and I just wanted to spend some time telling you a little bit about the program and asking the community for help to sort of get the word out. So let me just make sure. Okay. So Camp Invention is a nationally recognized program that is sponsored by the National Inventors Hall of Fame. National Inventors Hall of Fame began in 1973 to honor engineers and scientists who held U.S. patents for different types of technology. It has a museum in Alexandria, Virginia, and it also sponsors several educational programs and collegiate competitions. So Camp Invention is one of the programs that they sponsor. It's a hands-on STEM enrichment summer program. So last summer, when I was asked to bring it to the Lynbrook School District, I know Summer Playground is a very popular program here, so I didn't want to conflict with Summer Playground. So I worked with my Camp Invention sponsor to kind of modify the program to fit our needs, and it ran as a 2-week program. It's really designed to run as a 1-week program, so we had to make a lot of modifications prior to the program, and then once we started that first day, it was a little chaotic, and we had to make further modifications. And although it was successful, we had nothing but positive feedback. There were components of the program that we weren't able to run simply because of time. So that's why this year we're opting to do it after Summer Playground ends, so that there is no conflict with Summer Playground. Students and children won't have to decide whether or not they want to do Summer Playground or Camp Invention. I've gotten a couple of emails so far about why it's now going from a 2-week program to a 1-week program. So I just wanted to get the word out that it was always meant to be a 1-week program. That's how Camp Invention is designed. That's how the curriculum is designed. Last year they modified it for us to meet our needs. They have a little promotional video. It's about a minute long that talks about the modules for this year.
Okay.
With just one idea, you can change the whole world.
Spark your imagination this summer with brand new epic adventures at Camp Invention. In forensics, sharpen your detective skills with your own robotic capybara. Collect evidence, create sleuthing gadgets, and track down a mischievous prankster. In Make Waves, surf your way through salty challenges to arrive at fresh ideas for innovative products. Ride the waves of entrepreneurship as you attract investors and customers, and catch a break at success. In The Infringers, team up with the Innovation Force and fire up your creative superpowers to protect your ideas. Design wearable devices and use cryptography to stop the infringers from duplicating your top secret inventions. In Space Morphers, travel to a distant galaxy with a DIY rocket to transform a one-of-a-kind planet. In the Space Lab, hatch a mysterious egg and reveal a dazzling crystal surprise. Join the fun and bring your brightest ideas to life this summer. Ignite confidence and creativity at the all-new Camp Invention. Sign up now at invent.org/camp.
So this year's program is called the Spark program, and it does incorporate four brand new modules. They are different modules than last year's modules. Last year's program was called Discover. So Camp Invention's been around since the 1990s, so it is a very well-developed program. They have everything figured out. I get monthly checklists as the director of things that I should be doing month by month, and they send us literally every piece of equipment I possibly could need to run the 4 modules. For the instructors, they have a very detailed resource center where they have day-to-day lesson plans for the teachers to run. They are given autonomy to sort of go off script if they want, but if they feel more comfortable just using the script, it is very well developed. It is differentiated for the elementary students, so K to 2, and then up to the 6th grader. So I was quite impressed last year that once we hit the ground running and once we started that first day, my job was fairly easy because everything was already done for the instructors. So this year our program is going to be running from Monday, August 10th through Friday, August 14th, which is the week after Summer Playground is supposed to end. It is a full-day program, 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., and we are tentatively scheduled to be here at the high school. That might be subject to change. We still have to kind of finalize that, but we're looking at trying to hold it here at the high school so it's more centrally located. And right now we are holding our program only for school district 20 students. If you're familiar with Camp Invention in our local communities, it is a very popular program. Massapequa is the example that they always give us. They open their program registration on Monday, this coming Monday, the 16th, and they will close out their program probably by the end of the day, Monday, or very early on Tuesday, and they close out their program at 200 students. So I don't want any Lynbrook students to get closed out that early, so we're saying it's only going to be for Lynbrook School District 20 students. So there's basically 3 different types of participants, and I've listed them here because I've gotten some questions about what's the difference between them. So campers are children that are entering kindergarten through entering 6th grade, and so that's their grade in September. And then there's leadership opportunities. So leaders in training, or LITs for short, are children entering grades 7 through 9. If you're in the camping world, I would equate that more to like a CIT type of program. So they're not quite old enough to have like a true leadership role, but they're not quite young enough to be involved in the day-to-day modules. So they're kind of that hybrid between the both. And then there is a full volunteer opportunity for children entering grades 10 and above. A little bit about what their day looks like. So campers entering kindergarten through 6th grade, those are the campers that are actually going to be involved in completing the modules. So they'll go to each module run by 4 separate instructors every single day. And as I said before, the lesson plans are written so that the instructors know exactly what they need to complete in that module every single day. They'll have a lunchtime, they'll have a snack time. And then the last, I just want to highlight, because that was something that I had to cut out last year for time. There's a 5th module that's called Camp Invention Games. And it gives the kids an opportunity for like free play and free thinking and free building. And again, all the activities are given to us, so the instructors can choose which activity they want to do. So if it's a particularly hot day, there are some wet Camp Invention games. If it's a rainy day, there are quieter games that they can do inside. There's challenges that they can do, like team building games. So I'm really excited to be able to incorporate that this year because I'll have some time to do that. In terms of the LITs, they're going to be assigned to one instructor, so they do not complete all 4 modules. They will just be completing one module. Their job is going to be to help the instructors set up and clean up every day, and then help the campers as they come into the module with whatever the activities are. And they will obviously get lunch and snack daily as well. And then the leadership interns will be assigned a group of campers, and they will rotate through the 4 modules throughout the day. They're going to be responsible for just helping the campers, especially the little ones. We had a lot of campers that needed to go to the restroom throughout the day and things like that. So the volunteers will be responsible for escorting them back and forth. The perk or the draw for the leadership interns is they do receive 40 hours of community service if they complete the full program. And that's given to them through Camp Invention. So they have to fill out a form. I have to sign off that they were there every day, and then they get a certificate where they get 40 hours of community service. In terms of cost, so these numbers are before discounts, and I do have some discount codes. So campers entering kindergarten through 6th, again, which are the ones that do the 4 modules, the full price is $380 for the week. And then the LITs, again, if you're in the camping world, I equate that to like a CIT program, is $280. There are some discount codes running right now. The first one expires at the end of this month, and that gets $25 off that registration fee. After that, there is a $20 discount code that runs from April 1st through the end of April. And then running pretty much up until the first day of camp are sibling codes. So they acknowledge the fact that if you have more than one child that you would like to enroll in Camp Invention, it gets a little costly. So if you're enrolling 2 siblings, you get $30 off per sibling, and then 3 or more, you get $40 off per sibling. So it's kind of a nice little perk. They also offer a payment plan. So if you register within the next couple of weeks, you have up until June 11th, I believe, to pay the full tuition. I did ask all of the elementary school principals, Mrs. Postman at the KC, and both North and South principals to post the flyer that looks like this on Parent Square. Because we're only offering our program to School District 20 students, it is not searchable on the Camp Invention website. That is their policy. So parents do need the QR code in order to register. So if you don't have the flyer, just look on your school's Parent Square. I will make sure that it is there so that you can scan that code and register. And these are just some pictures from last year's. Again, it's 4 different modules, but these were the 4 modules from last year. They did a claw machine. They got to make their own claw machine and put prizes in it and then pick prizes out of the claw machine. The other one was transmitter. They made transmitter radios, and they could communicate with each other. They learned about Morse code, and they sat in the hallway across from each other and sent each other messages back and forth. The other one last year was illusions. They learned about Disney and color and optical illusions. Any questions for me?
I don't have any questions, but a good friend of mine was the director of Camp Invention for a number of years where he taught and raved about it. So I know that it's a great opportunity for our kids if it works for our family's schedules and means.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping running after summer playground kind of fills a need also for parents. I know when summer playground ends, there's that 3 very, very long weeks before school starts. And if you're not fortunate enough to be a teacher and you have to work, it's kind of like, what are you doing with your children for those 3 weeks? So if you can't take off, you can send them to Camp Invention and they'll have fun throughout the day.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Danino. Tonight, the Board of Education will be adopting the 26-27 budget in the amount of $115,248,293. We gave a rather extensive presentation last week at our budget work session. Technically, what happens here is that was the administration's presentation of the budget to the board. The board will now make it its own tonight, and it will be what will be presented to the community. One bit of something we had to discuss last week in some detail, and I'll repeat the words that I used. We don't have a budget problem this year. We had a budget problem last year, and we were able to close a significant gap through the use of a retirement incentive. But we do have an interesting blip in the radar this year, and it comes in the form of the state's formula, where the way that the tax cap is generated, we actually have, before exclusions, a negative tax cap. When we put our exclusions in, we have a modest tax cap of 0.95%. So the board is intending on overriding the allowable tax cap at 1.97. We have clearly demonstrated last week, and the presentation is on the website if you want to see it, that we are at 1.97. We're still significantly below the Nassau County average. We're still significantly below the Long Island average, and we're significantly below, or we're below our average. So all of that is true. And just to let you know, we are the 14th lowest levy in all of Nassau County, but it's just a technicality, and and that technicality means that we need a supermajority this year. But as we've said, and not to presume on the community, that we present responsible budgets, and this community believes in responsible budgets, and we have consistently gotten supermajorities. So we hope that the community will do the same. So that's the budget update. But there was another thing presented last week that I think we want to go into a little more depth, and that is regarding Proposition 3. So Proposition 3 is our classic presentation of capital projects that we would like to accomplish. So in Proposition 3, we have the replacement of some air conditioner units at the high school. We have the remodeling of a classroom at North Middle School, and we have the replacement of a heating system at North Middle School. But there was one item that we have heard from the community we would like to do a little bit of expansion to show just what is going on with the expenditure of funds to create a fitness center and yoga studio. And what that will involve is the purchase of a piece of property right next to the firehouse, right back there, from the village of Lynbrook, and we would be constructing a 3,800 square foot fitness center. So let's go into some detail about what we're talking about here. So this is not a new idea. I would say the Facilities Committee has been looking at this for a good 7 years, Mr. Murray, 6?
At least.
Yeah, a very long time. The problem was we are always space-starved in Lynbrook, so we don't have any place to put it. We looked at many different designs that involved knocking down walls. I think, Mr. Sater, we were thinking of putting a second floor on this addition at one point, and all of these things were just very impractically space-wise, and also impractically dollar-wise. Anything we were looking at was in the $8 to $10 million range. And then two items converged at the same time that kind of made it stars colliding. One was this piece of property that the district had looked at several years ago, but really it wasn't big enough to do anything significant with. We had looked at it for a UPK, and it wasn't going to be really sufficiently big for that. We looked at it for student parking, but it was too expensive for something like that. So, but we kind of always had that in the back of our heads. And then I'm just going to tell a story here. You know, I'm always a storyteller. I don't know if everyone realizes this. The Nassau County Superintendents have a fundraiser in honor of Dr. Barbarino every year. So I went to this fundraiser, and I was sitting next to the superintendent of Bethpage, and Dr. Schneider says to me, "Yeah, we just put up a fitness center." And I'm like, "You what? You did what?" He said, "Yeah, we put up a barn." And I'm, "A barn? What's a barn?" And what it is, it's a prefab building that can be put up very economically efficient and doesn't need a very big footprint. As a matter of fact, they were going to do theirs at about 4,000 square feet. So I said, "Hey, Dave, can we come up and take a look at it?" And to be honest with you, I thought I was going to see like a tin box. I was expecting a prefab building, something out of the old days, maybe something out of the 1950s. When we got up there, even Mr. Sater, you're a bit of a snob when it comes to construction, Mr. Sater, it was beautiful. It was this beautiful, beautiful building. And in that moment, we said, you know what? If we take that design and that piece of property, we just might be able to do it. So Mr. Press and Mr. Sater brought that back to the Facilities Committee, and they started to look at it and say, you know what? That makes a lot of sense to us, too. So now this makes us able to do a modern fitness center and at the same time create a yoga studio. So let's talk a little bit about that. We're not talking about something for sports teams. Yes, sports teams are going to use it. The primarily reason we're encountering this is because it is about physical education. So you've all told me I am a child of the 70s. I was educated in the era of basketball, dodgeball, and parachutes. And there was not a lot of physical education that went on in St. Christopher's School in 1975. I'm sorry, Mr. Russ, he's still alive, he's a Facebook friend, but there just wasn't. What we now know for physical education is teachers are teaching lifelong habits. When the board first presented this, Mr. Pileski, on December 10th, when we first started to talk about this in the public, he talked about the obesity crisis, and he talked about children needing to adopt lifelong habits that make them healthier. This fitness center is for that purpose. It is to induce children with strength and conditioning, cardiovascular fitness, flexibility and mobility, injury prevention, goal setting, and personal wellness. And in a new environment, it could be done safely and efficiently. The key thing is for all students. This is an action of physical education. So we foresee this fitness center as being part of regular phys ed classes. Yes, there'll still be the strength training classes, and kids love that class. But we almost see this as a rotation of like an appetizer, where every kid gets exposed. There's a unit on this, there's a unit on that, and there's a strength training unit, which probably, quite honestly, if you think about it, will save lives and change lives. Because now at that young age, you're teaching kids how to care for their human body. So that's the important thing. It's for all students. Here are the challenges. The current weight room, and we do have pictures later, it's small, it's limited, it's congested, it's not even a weight room. It's an old room that was converted into have weights in it. We have kids waiting for equipment, and we have really limited flexibility. Our mindfulness and our yoga classes, which are incredibly popular. We have 94 kids signed up for yoga and mindfulness next year. That is currently done on our gym stage with the noise outside of kids playing in the gym. So try to picture yourself doing some mindfulness and getting into a mindful state and having a ball hit the very wall of the studio that you're concentrating on. I'm not even, am I exaggerating? I'm not even exaggerating at all. And we have seen strength training incredibly popular. Yoga, incredibly popular. We probably should be splitting yoga and mindfulness into separate classes, but we have to hold them together just because we don't have the space. So what does this fitness center look like? It would be a new facility of approximately 3,600, 3,700 square feet. It would be designed specifically for strength training, cardiovascular conditioning, functional movement, mobility and flexibility, and injury prevention. You'll see the equipment that's there. Racks, benches, dumbbells, barbells, leg presses, functional training equipments, and cardio equipment. We don't have any cardio equipment right now in anywhere in our gym. So if you wanted to go run a treadmill, you got to go to Fitness 19. There's nothing here for that. So this is going to be a fully functioning fitness center that has all of that stuff in it, so that every child, and you're going to hear this on the next slide, when I say every child, I mean literally every child. You saw our proud angels tonight of the CDP program. Every child having exposure to real physical fitness. What this allows us to then do is take the current weight room and transform it into a modern yoga studio. We would replace yoga instruction being held on the stage. Kids will be doing stretching and flexibility, breathing techniques, stress management, all of this connected to the profile of the OWL of social emotional learning and real life skills. It benefits both the PE classes and the specialized electives. So just like the kids are going to cycle through strength training, kids cycle through yoga and mindfulness as part of regular PE, and then we also have the specialized yoga classrooms. So quite frankly, the demand is so large right now that we don't have the space to do it. What does this mean for every student at Lynbrook High School? Every student is exposed to strength, cardio, and mobility. Every student learns lifelong fitness skills. More students are active and don't have to sit around waiting for the weights or in some, lose your momentum is really what can happen there. Designed specifically for adaptive physical education and the career development programs, and for students who would benefit from smaller group instruction. Expanded opportunities for kids who are interested in fitness and strength in more particular ways. And then the idea of the yoga and mindfulness studio, and what's going to support social, emotional learning and real life skills, and this really does tie right back into two pillars of the profile of the OWL. That's our weight room right now. You can see the equipment there. And actually, we were talking about this. Something about this picture actually makes it look larger than it is. It's kind of like that fisheye. Yeah, it's not that large, but that is able. And yes, so this lets you kind of see I will say, the age of the equipment and just the kind of the condition of the room in its current form. So let's see what's going on in some of our neighboring districts. So this is Lawrence High School, right down Peninsula Boulevard, where I used to teach, where Mr. Pileski still teaches. Oceanside High School. You see the nice rubberized floors and all the big equipment. The district to whom I pay taxes, Valley Stream North, with all that cardio equipment. That's just a full workout space that looks absolutely like a college gym. And again, Valley Stream North, not all that different than Lynbrook. Rockville Center South Side, beautiful cardio equipment, rubberized floors. Other Nassau schools, here's Roosevelt High School. Plain Edge High School, which in fairness, Mr. Pileski, this is the gold standard. Plain Edge has that is essentially a college fitness center. That's what that is. But you look at that equipment there. Herrick's, look at those windows and out onto the things. Here's our yoga studio. That's a stage with kids. I believe Mrs. Rossi took this today. This is what it looked like. You can see nice chairs in the background there. And so let's look at what modern schools with yoga and dance studios look like. There's Lawrence High School again, right down the block from us. Long Beach High School. Hewlett, another neighbor right down the block. Plainview High School. So what do we see? what do we think our world could be like? A modern yoga studio where kids are not crowded on a stage around chairs, and a modern fitness center with cardio equipment and all the strength training equipment for every child. I think members of the board may have some thoughts on this, as it was very a project that they've thought long and hard about.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I think it's pretty comprehensive and explains a lot of things. Just so we're understanding how we want to do this, Syosset in 2024 passed a $144 million bond to upgrade their athletic facilities. A good chunk of it was for the athletic facilities. East Meadow, just last week, passed a $71.5 million bond for their athletic facilities at Clark High School and East Meadow High School. You saw what Plain Edge did. North Shore High School, a $12 million bond. We are not, every time you pass a bond, you're asking the community for more money above their budget that they've already been granted by the community. We're not asking for a single dollar more from taxpayers. We're simply saying we've squirreled away enough money over the years that we can do this for approximately $3 million, which is a pittance compared to what some of these other districts have done. You know, we're not asking for anything else other than permission to buy this property so we can go ahead with this, something we know we can do without increasing the tax levy or increasing any burden to the community. Some other things that just crossed my mind while we're talking about this. You know, my daughter was an athlete and she wanted to take the strength training course, but she didn't feel comfortable doing it because there were so many boys enrolled in the course. You know, we can increase the number of sections drastically because you could have multiple sections going on in this space. So you'd have more phys ed teachers and athletic training certified people teaching these courses, so girls would feel more comfortable taking these courses. You know, and again, like Dr. Lynch said, you're teaching something of a huge value for life. It's a huge life lesson to do this. This is for physical education more so than athletics. Athletics can figure out how to do this in many spaces. You know, the PE is really what this is for more than anything else. In our current weight room, there's no cardio equipment. So, you know, like, where is there a fitness center anywhere without cardio equipment? There's no space for, like, new modern techniques, like flipping tires, like, you know, ropes and anything like that, sleds. You need space for that inside. Currently, if kids want to do that, they have to go outside the exterior door and do that in the courtyard. And you also saw the yoga facility. I mean, it's borderline embarrassing that we're asking these kids to do this in this space when our neighboring districts have these beautiful spaces. You know, it allows everyone, this would be for everyone. And the other thing I'd like to say is I've been on this board 6 years now, and I've heard many parents speak very eloquently at that podium about the social, emotional well-being of their kids. And since I've been around, we've paid thousands for trainings. We've created wellness spaces. We've hired multiple social workers, guidance counselors. We created a head of guidance. And we came up with the Northwell partnership, all for the social, emotional well-being of our students. Well, how, is there that much more value in that than there is physical education? By no means. I'm so happy we spent the money on that. But how can we put all that money towards the social, emotional well-being of these kids and not any money towards the physical fitness of them when we're in the middle of a childhood obesity epidemic that we've never seen? I mean, how many parents can honestly say that they wouldn't see their kids off their devices a lot more? You know, and I think part of the responsibility of the schools is to teach these kids how to be physically fit for life. It's a big deal. You know, it's a lifelong need that we're going to address. And $3 million out of our budget is nothing compared to the lessons we could teach these kids going forward. And I have to say one more thing, and this might get me in trouble, but it's fine. I've been in trouble before. You know, I teach at Lawrence High School, all right? I went to Lawrence High School. My dad went to Lawrence High School. It's not, over the last 15 years, not necessarily a district that puts the needs of their public school students first. And I have to say that, and I feel terrible saying it, but it's the truth, so I'm gonna say it. How is it possible Lawrence put so much value in physical fitness that they were okay with coming up with a new fitness center for their students? And this is something we're debating. This is not debatable. This has to get done. We have to do this for our children. It's our responsibility.
Pat, can I follow up on one thing? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to say I agree. I think that this is something that's long overdue here. As someone who's been on the facilities committee for many years, we've been looking at a ton of different options. This is the only option that makes sense. And where you spoke about social emotional health, I would beg to say that this ties in with student social emotional well-being, because if you're exercising and learning how to take care of yourself, it's your whole body that you're taking care of, not just your mind. Releasing endorphins is just going to help you to become a healthier, happier person.
I've been part of these conversations on the facilities committee as well, and when I tell you we've been trying for years to put a financially responsible plan together, and there have been a lot of dreams, and all of them we came back and said we can't bring that dream to the public because it's not financially responsible, it's not fiscally responsible, and we won't do that to the taxpayers. And Mr. Pileski was very passionate about fitness and life fitness. And it's not just that. I mean, it is actually the New York State physical education standards have changed in just the last couple of years, and they've finally been updated and modernized. And when the science standards were updated and modernized, this district spent millions of dollars putting in new science labs and new science equipment to meet the standards. As technology standards change, we put millions of dollars into buying appropriate technology and equipment for our students and for our classrooms. There are new physical education standards, and we're not even asking to put millions of dollars from our budget. We're looking to take a few $1 million out of savings that can only be used for these types of projects to give our students a classroom space that meets the learning standards of New York State. Will athletes get to enjoy this facility with their coaches? Absolutely. Is that who we're building it for? Absolutely not. We're building it for every single child because, as you know, if you have a high school student, every single child who goes to high school in New York State must take physical education for 4 years in order to graduate. You don't need to do 4 years of math. You don't need to do 4 years of social studies. You don't need to do 4 years of science. You don't need to do 4 years of foreign language. You only need to do 4 years of English and phys ed. Actually, I said social studies. Social studies is 4 years, but that's it. Phys ed, English, and social studies. That's the only thing you have to do all 4 years of your career in high school. We need to give this to those students, and I think we're doing it in as fiscally responsible way as we can.
So just to follow up on the point that I think Mr. Pileski and Mr. Murray made, and I think it's really important to understand this. This money is not money that we're asking the community to give. So if this passes or fails, the budget is the same. Okay, there's no addition to the budget for passing this, and there's no reduction to the budget if this gets voted down. This is money that's set aside in a separate reserve. And the money, I'm sure people who aren't as familiar with the process could be thinking, well, why don't we use that reserve money for other things? We can't. The way that money is set aside is it's set aside in a specific reserve for exactly these types of capital projects. So if anyone has a concern that voting for this would somehow increase school taxes or that voting against it would decrease school taxes, it's not accurate. This money has already been set aside, and it's only been set aside for this exact type of purpose. Putting that aside, I think, to every parent who's listening and every parent who's, watches these meetings online, you should be voting for this budget, for this item specifically, if you have a child in the schools. Physical education is so important. We've seen tons of data lately that kids coming out of COVID have a social emotional issues, there's a mental health crisis, there's an obesity crisis. Physical fitness is such an important thing for kids. I mean, I started working out when I was 18, 19 years old. I'm going to be 50 this year. I've never missed more than a week without working out. I work 90 hours a week. There are weeks I work 100 hours. The one thing that's non-negotiable to this day is I have to get those 40 minutes in the gym. Why? Because at a young age, I realized how important it was just mentally to take that time. And a lot of kids connect with acting. A lot of kids connect with music, and that's their outlet. But a ton of kids get into the gym for the first time and they say, oh my God, I love the way I feel. And then you get a kid who may not have a lot of confidence, and they get into the gym, and after a couple months, they look in the mirror and they say, kind of like the way I look now. And that breeds confidence. What I like about the presentation, the way Dr. Lynch laid it out, is the idea of cycling through different parts, that we can do that. We can't do that now. We have a weight room that, those dumbbells that you showed the picture of, I worked out with those dumbbells, that same exact, in 1994 when I went to college. Those are old and they're outdated, right? And that facility, I've been in it. There's no ability to cycle through and give kids exposure to different modalities of working out. So one kid may go to the gym and love running on a treadmill, and that's their outlet. And 20 years later, that kid's a runner, and that keeps that person mentally healthy. I hate running. I connected with lifting weights. I also connected later in life with yoga, right? There's all these different things, but the ability to cycle through, I think, is a really great aspect that's underappreciated in this. So you'll give kids exposure to these different areas, and maybe one clicks. Good health benefits, good emotional benefits. There's so many benefits to working out, and you don't have to be a bodybuilder, you don't have to be an endurance athlete. Just getting to the gym and doing yoga, stretching, mindfulness. I mean, different things appeal to different kids, but this is something that every single kid who comes through our schools will benefit from. Not every kid's gonna act in the play, not every kid's gonna do science Olympiads and math Olympiads. This is something that should offer something for every kid in the district. So if you're a parent and you have a kid that's in the district or that's going to be coming into the district, this is something that you should want, 100%.
Okay, that's all the questions from the board. I'm just thinking of some other stuff. It will be air conditioning, and it will have bathrooms. Just on the very practical side, I think it's kind of important that the full thing is kind of exposed. That's that. So, and on that note, we go from the high school. We're going to go to our littlest owls. Dr. Berman, a UPK update.
The Lynbrook School District will continue to offer the UPK program for the upcoming 26-27 school year. Based on the proposal, the New York State executive budget, we anticipate receiving funding to provide full-day pre-K for all eligible students within the district's available program capacity. For the upcoming school year, the district plans to continue partnering with the JCC and Tiny Tykes Early Learning Center, which together will provide approximately 100 seats. A resolution will be presented this evening for the board to award these contracts. The district will also advertise an expansion request for proposals tomorrow to identify additional providers who may be available to offer more seats. Any additional contracts will be brought to the board for consideration at a special meeting scheduled for March 30th. The UPK program is open to district residents whose children turn 4 years old on or before December 1st of this year, meaning children born between December 2nd of 2021 and December 1st of 2022 are eligible to apply. The UPK program follows the district's 180 school calendar and operates Monday through Friday from 9 to 2, beginning in September of 26. Transportation is not provided. Registration for the program will be conducted through online lottery process. Applications must be submitted electronically through the district website beginning tomorrow at noon. The deadline to submit an application for the lottery is April 13th. The virtual lottery will take place on April 23rd at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Berman. And just a point, so Mrs. Danino and I watched the state budget, so there's just something that I think for providers out there. So right now we have had about 120 kids a year. Right now we only have about 100 seats. So we need providers. So we do believe that the state of New York, rather than just funding it at the level of $5,400 a student, will be funding it at the level of $10,000 a student. So we would encourage providers to submit a proposal to us.
Yeah, it seems there's a lot of proposals regarding pre-K being talked about for the budget and going forward to, change.
And Dr. Blekus, updates from State Ed?
Thank you, Dr. Lynch. Over the next 2 years, the NICED testing program will continue to undergo significant changes. This year, in grades 3 to 8, the ELA Math and Science 5 assessments will be computer-based. The ELA assessments in Lynbrook will be administered April 15th through 17th. Math will be administered April 29th through May 1st, and the Science 5 exam will be on May 12th. Please check the calendar for the specific ELA and math days your child will be testing. The final administration of the NYSA slot, the New York State English as a Second Language Achievement Test, will be this spring. The state will be transitioning next year to something called WIDA Access and Alternate Access for students with severe cognitive disabilities, starting in the spring of 2027. WIDA is an educational services organization coming from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, their School of Education, that advances academic language development and achievement for multilingual students as they're explicitly taught academic language skills within the content areas of math, English, science, and social studies instruction. The screener assessments will be changed the following school year in fall of 2027, which means the NYSATEL, the New York State Identification Test for English language learners, will be offered next year, but will not be offered the following year. In June of 2026, so this June, there will be our first administration in Lynbrook of the new Regents exams in life science biology and earth and space sciences in the high school and both middle schools. Expect the new Regents formats to feature a heavier emphasis on analysis and real-world application and have more significant reading and writing demands as the board experienced at last month's meeting. Similarly, the new Regents in physical science chemistry and physical science physics will be introduced in Lynbrook next school year. We are still awaiting NYSA to release details of their long-term plans, including phasing out the Regents requirements and other systemic changes that are going to occur beyond 2027. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bluckus. And Mr. Press, capital projects.
Thank you very much. I am happy to announce that this evening is on part of the board's agenda. They will be awarding the bids for capital projects that the community approved last year. Kind of piggybacking on the earlier conversation, these are projects that were funded out of the capital reserves, no additional cost to taxpayers, and having no effect on the budget or the tax levy. So those projects are replacement of the roof here at the high school, the construction of a new science classroom at North Middle School, and the renovation of bathrooms at West End. All those projects are set to take place over the coming summer.
Thank you. Back to you, Mrs. Danino.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open it up for public comment. Seeing no one here, we're going to move on. Unfortunately, this evening we have 2 sympathy resolutions.
Whereas the members of the Board of Education of the Lynbrook Union Free School District have learned with sorrow of the passing of Felipe Gonzalez, former employee of the Lynbrook School District, and whereas Felipe Gonzalez served as a maintainer for 12 years from 1989 through 2001, and whereas the Board of Education is mindful of the contributions made to our district by Felipe Gonzalez during his years of service to our community, be it resolved that the Board of Education shows its sorrow, its sympathy, and the esteem in which Mr. Gonzalez was held, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the family of Felipe Gonzalez with the hope that they will find solace and comfort in the rich heritage of good works for which he is remembered and revered.
Excuse me. Whereas the members of the Board of Education of the Lynbrook Union Free School District have learned with sorrow of the passing of Alba Nicosia, former employee in the Lynbrook School District. And whereas Alba Nicosia served as a senior account clerk in the business office, retiring in 1983. And whereas the Board of Education is mindful of the contributions made to our district by Alba Nicosia during her years of service to our community. Be it resolved that the Board of Education records its sorrow, its sympathy, and the esteem in which Mrs. Nicosia was held. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the family of Alba Nicosia with the hope that they will find solace and comfort in the rich heritage of good works for which she is remembered and revered.
We added Resolution 2603 G27, the annual budget notice, to the agenda. It will be adopted as part of the consent agenda. So I'd like to ask for consent agenda on Resolutions 2603 C1 through C4, 2603 NC1 through NC3, and 2603 G2 through G26. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Kelly, second. Mr. Cullen, all in favor? Thank you. I'd like to ask for a motion for 2603 G27. Ms. Aragona, second. Mr. Murray, all in favor? One abstention. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to, in the air of being fully transparent, I am married to the deputy mayor of Lynbrook, so I do not think it's appropriate that I vote on the fitness center. While I think it is a fantastic idea, what this does, it precludes me ethically from voting on any of the propositions in addition to the budget. I'm allowed to vote on the budget itself, but I will be abstaining, not because I disagree with the propositions, but because it's the right thing to do. So if anyone has questions, feel free.
Thank you. Okay. May I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Mr. Cullen, Ms. Aragona, all in favor? Thank you. We will be having a special meeting on March 30th at 5 p.m. to adopt the supplemental universal pre-K provider that was just spoken about and the before aftercare provider. This meeting will be held at the administration building. Our April meeting is Tuesday, April 28th. Every district in Nassau County has to vote on the BOCES budget that evening. So we hope everybody enjoys the spring break. Well,
Madam President, may I ask?
Yes.
So I'm sorry for having not mentioned this before. So you mentioned the child care. So the district will be putting out an RFP for child care services. So our current child care provider, Right at School, provides our before after school program. It will not, they will be the incumbent through the summer, but we'll be putting out an RFP for a child care provider for before school, after school, commencing in September, and the board will be awarding that on March 30th. Thank you, Dr. Berman. Sorry.
Thank you. I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn. Mr. Murray, second. Mr. Pulaski, all in favor? Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.